Hey, what's going on today, guys? My name's Trey. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be going over my top 10 pieces of advice for tourists visiting Oahu. Let's get into it. Now, quick disclaimer, I've lived here for a year now. It's been an amazing time. This is a truly amazing and beautiful place. And you're probably watching this video because this truly is a pretty unique and different place from the mainland USA. And so I hope I'm able to answer any questions or concerns that you have by going over this list in this video. So stay tuned. So number 10, explore outside of Waikiki. Now yes, Waikiki is probably the largest tourist attraction here in the state of Hawaii, and for a few different reasons. There are a lot of great restaurants, there are a ton of hotels, there's so many different shopping venues and malls and, you know, different boutiques and stuff like that, which is great. But just keep in mind that there is so much more to Oahu than just Waikiki. Go to the west side, go to the east side, go to the north shore, go to the windward side, just step foot outside of Waikiki and explore this beautiful place. Number 9, do not book tour buses. Now, what I mean by that is when you come to Oahu, you will literally see hundreds of tour buses everywhere. And not only does it cause a lot of traffic, but you have to keep in mind if you're on a tour bus and you're stopping at a tourist location or a venue, you will have to wait in line until those other tour buses leave. Now, I understand that some venues in some different places have tour bus parking where numerous buses can park, but a lot of them here in Hawaii only have maybe like 5 or 6. And remember, I said there are literally hundreds of tour buses here. And so you don't want to waste your time waiting on a bus to be able to see something like, you know, Sharks Cove or, you know, Waimea Bay. You don't want to waste your time doing that. And also, you just want to be able to go at your own pace. If you're on a tour bus, like, you have to wait for everybody to get back on the bus. You got to wait for the driver if he has to go use the bathroom. You just want to be able to go at your own pace. And by taking a tour bus, which costs a lot of money sometimes, you're going at somebody else's pace, which isn't exactly the best. Number 8 on the list, bring cash. Now, for some reason, Hawaii is still a little bit late when it comes to technology. That's not exactly a bad thing. I'm not like throwing any jabs or punches at the state of Hawaii. But for some reason, a lot of local businesses here just thrive off of cash. When you have cash here on Oahu, it just makes life a little bit easier. Like, most of the places require you to make at least a $10 purchase to even use card. So just bring lots of cash with you. You won't regret it in the long run. Now, even though I'm telling you to bring cash, just be smart. Don't be out there like, you know, throwing dollar bills or anything like that. Like, don't be throwing hundreds. Just come here, be smart, have cash on you. You won't regret it. Number 7, eat local Hawaiian cuisine. Make sure you pull up Google, make sure you reference Yelp. I don't really use TripAdvisor too much, but you can use that as well if that's a place where you like to find good food. But try to find some really unique and good local Hawaiian cuisine. A few restaurants I would recommend would be Halena's, which is in town. You can go to Tanioka's, which is in Waipahu. I would recommend just trying to go to the places that the locals go, because locals here in Hawaii will not steer you in the wrong direction. Make sure you eat poke, make sure you eat poi, make sure you eat pig that is directly from the emu if that's what you're into. Make sure you try the vegan cuisine, make sure you try the sushi, make sure you try the burgers, make sure you try everything that is locally sourced, because this food here on Oahu is some of the best that you'll have on the planet. And I know we just talked about how great the locals are and how great of taste that they have. That brings me to number 6 on my list, which is respect the locals. Now, what I mean by that is Hawaii is truly a beautiful place. The people are great. The aloha spirit is amazing. But you need to understand that this isn't your home. Like, and if we're being technical, like, this was once a great, beautiful kingdom, and there's a lot of pride and joy here. So just make sure that you don't come here and act stupid and disrespect the land and disrespect the people and disrespect the beautiful culture that a lot of Kanaka here in Hawaii celebrate daily. Like, they just live it and breathe it. So just make sure that you embrace it. Don't come here and try to be one of those typical American tourists. No offense to Americans. I'm American myself. Just make sure that you come here and you truly embrace the beautiful people and culture. Number 5 is one of the most important on the list. Please do not litter. Now, since I've been here for the last year, when I go on hikes, when I walk through town, even while I'm at work, I just notice that there's a lot of trash here in Hawaii. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are a lot of people that live here. So this is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. And you should really try your best to make sure that it stays clean. If you see any trash at all, if you see anybody throwing trash, make sure you, one, let them know that it's not okay to throw trash, but also just don't be afraid to pick up any trash that you see, and definitely don't throw anything out the window. This is truly a beautiful place. This is an oasis. Please don't litter when you come here. Number 4, make sure you bring ponchos, umbrellas, raincoats, and hiking shoes. Now, I mention all of those things because the weather here in Hawaii is very unpredictable. The climate here is unlike anywhere else on the planet. It's very familiar here in Polynesia where it rains, it's sunny, it's hot. I can literally look out my window right now and see Hurricane Douglas barreling towards us right now. But you need to understand that it's a very, very crazy place when it comes to the climate. And what I mean by crazy is that it rains a lot, it's extremely hot, and it's just really a place that you need to come prepared for. You don't want to come here with just tank tops and swim trunks, especially if you plan on going hiking, because not only will you be tan, but chances are you'll get scraped up by a lot of the leaves and a lot of the wildlife here. So just make sure that you dress accordingly. Doesn't matter what time of the year is. Make sure you have hiking shoes, hiking boots. Make sure you have a raincoat or a poncho, and please just make sure that you're bringing the right stuff. Don't come here in just a tank top and swim trunks. You will really regret that. Number 3 is also a really cool one. Make sure you try to stick to the free attractions here on Oahu. So pretty much every hike here on Oahu is free. Pretty much every lookout is free. Pretty much every joyride that you could take, whether that being on H3 or really anywhere, driving out to Hawaii Kai, driving out to the west side, these are all things that are free, but really amazing to do. There are a lot of different viewpoints that you can pull your car off to the side smartly and correctly. And just, you can go out and literally look at the ocean, you can look at the Mauka side. There's so many different things that you could see that are free here on Oahu. Number 2, rent a car. Now, I personally would recommend trying to rent a vehicle that is 4-wheel drive, just because it's always nice to have a little bit more traction here in Hawaii, because a lot of the roads have sand. They tend to be rocky at times. We don't have the best infrastructure here in Oahu, and I'm not just saying that as somebody that has lived here for a year. You can ask anybody that's lived here. There are a lot of potholes, there's a lot of road wear, and it's just kind of a pretty interesting place when it comes to driving and the driving experience.
This land holds great beauty.
So I personally would recommend something with 4-wheel drive, but obviously if you can't do that, I would always recommend getting, something that is a convertible. Get a Jeep that you could take the top down, breathe in this fresh, amazing Hawaiian air and atmosphere. It's truly a great place, but coming to Hawaii would not be the same unless you rented a car. And also by renting a car, you're able to go at your own pace. I know I mentioned back about tour buses, you are able to go at your own pace in a rental car. But you need to make sure that when you do rent a car here, you need to do it the right way. You need to make sure that you're respecting any of the rules and procedures that these companies have, because I'm telling you, any little thing, any little scratch, any little dent that they find, they obviously will ding you. So just make sure that you're driving safe, make sure you're respecting locals. Traffic here on Oahu is pretty bad, but also driving in general is pretty slow. So if you're coming from somewhere like LA, or if you're coming from somewhere like South Florida or New York or Chicago, where driving is a little bit faster pace-wise, you need to understand that driving here on Oahu is very different. So pump the brakes a little bit when you come here and understand that yes, you might have a Mustang rental car, but please just make sure that you're not running over auntie or uncle that are on H1. Thank you. Another thing I wanted to hit on with the rental cars, I know I mentioned running over auntie and uncle. You need to understand that the car scene here in Hawaii is a pretty big deal. Whatever you do while you're on H1, if you see a lifted truck that's driving up behind you, move over the lane, don't try to block them. It's a respect thing. When you're here in Hawaii for a while, you will understand it. I personally drive a lifted truck, so what I'm essentially telling you is if you see the lifted truck, it's me, you better move out of the way. Coming in at number 1 on the list please do not leave your valuables in your rental car or anywhere that is easily accessible. Now, you just made it to Hawaii. You got this amazing Mustang or Camaro or Jeep rental car that is nice. It's red, it's fancy, it's nicer than what you have back home. You got this beautiful suite here in Waikiki or on the North Shore. You're having a good time. You get out of your car, you go up to your room, you see the beautiful Waikiki beach, you come back down to your car, your stuff is gone. Now, I know that might have sounded like a pretty dramatic scenario, but you need to understand that that is literally something that happens daily here in Hawaii. There are a lot of opportunists. There are a lot of people that are looking to screw over your vacation. You just need to make sure that you're doing it the right way. Do not leave any valuables in your car. Don't even leave a diaper bag. Don't leave a plastic bag. Don't leave napkins. Don't leave hotel room key cards. Don't leave anything that will let people know that your vehicle is a rental car, because it will be targeted, it will be broken into. You will have to pay whatever the fees are that the rental car companies have. And I don't know what it is, but here in Hawaii, like, specific vehicles are targeted, and that's because the rental companies give those out to people. Now, I'm not saying that rental companies are in on anything like that, but it's just the criminals here on Oahu, they specifically target those cars. So you don't want to give anybody any opportunity, any chance, any probable cause to break into your car. You know, just make sure that you remove everything from your vehicle. When you decide to go on hikes, when you decide to go to the beach, make sure that you lock your car. Make sure that you leave nothing in there at all whatsoever. I promise you, we have literally gone to so many different places and we've seen cars broken into. It's just not a good time, guys. So guys, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope I was able to answer any questions or comments or concerns that any of you guys had. Hawaii is truly a beautiful and amazing place. It is such an honor to be able to live here. You know, I asked my girlfriend at the time to be my wife here. Like, we're getting ready to move onto a farm. This is truly an amazing place. You guys are gonna have a great time here. If you have any more questions, comments, or concerns about anything regarding Hawaii, if you wanna move here, if you wanna work here, if you wanna find some good food, if you wanna find out where the best beaches are, if you have any questions at all about anything Hawaii related, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I promise you I will do my best to get to you in a timely manner. And we plan on making more of these Hawaii related videos because, you know, we've been to the Big Island, we've been to Kauai, we're about to go to Maui. Like, we truly love this place. It's a great place. It's such an escape from life on the mainland USA. And that's honestly why you're most likely coming here for your vacation. And we want to make sure that you have an amazing time while you're here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and mahalo for watching. Aloha.